Hi, I'm Dr. Rollan Roberts, and welcome to this week's Google Hangout on how to manage your schedule like a CEO. See, time management and how you manage your schedule will determine what you become. It will determine who you become. It determines how much money you will make. It determines how much success you will have. Because the secret of success in anything you do, in any endeavor, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you do for a living or how you serve, no matter what capacity or purpose you have on this earth, your effectiveness at doing what you are designed to do will be determined by your ability to manage your schedule like a CEO. And I use that analogy because most people immediately recognize that CEOs are intuitively busy. They have to juggle a lot of different things, and so quickly they're able to say, okay, I'm probably not busy or I am as busy as a CEO, and they're able to immediately equate that. And there are also some very good reasons why we use that analogy. CEOs, especially of Fortune 500 companies or companies that are $1 billion or more, it's actually a very different kind of busy for a CEO of a startup company or of a company that's doing $1 million a year or $10 million a year, $100 million a year. People get kind of absorbed into what they're doing, but the schedule, especially of larger organizations, is very different. And so what I want to do today is give you a framework that will help you be better at managing your schedule like a CEO, because there's all these priorities that are pulling at you. There's work, there's your business, there's your job, there's community events, there's your family, there's soccer practice, there's play practice, there's the volleyball games, and there's all of these commitments. There's attending certain events. There's hobbies. There's different things that you're have a second job, or maybe that you're going to school and getting education, furthering your education as well. I mean, there's all these different things that happen simultaneously in life, and it's like, how do we fit it all in? How do we get it all done? Oh, and I'm supposed to be getting 8 hours of sleep or more a night, and I'm supposed to be eating healthy, and I'm supposed to find time to exercise or be fit or go to a gym. How in the world do people live in this magical fairy tale world? Well, let me share some ideas with you on how to manage your schedule like a CEO, because it will feel like a fairy tale world because of when you master your schedule. The problem is when you are out of control, when you do not manage your time, but your time manages you, it is not a fairy tale life. But when you are able to take control of your life and your schedule, the power that you receive from that will empower you to live a better life, and it will feel like a fairy tale life. I'm going to give you 3 steps on how to manage your schedule like a CEO. Number 1, keep a calendar. Now, and I mean on your smartphone. One that has the ability to color code and things like that. This is not the kind of calendar that your grandparents kept. This is not the 3x5 card in your pocket. And let me tell you, I believe in 3x5 cards. I believe in to-do lists. The problem with that, and my dad, that's all he ever used growing up. He still carries 3x5 cards in his shirt pocket, and he'll be writing down his to-do list. It has worked great for him, but I am talking about people who are managing a schedule like a CEO, where a 3x5 card just won't cut it. It cuts it if you have 10 or 15 things to do today. It cuts it if you have keep a running list of 20 to 30 items. It's fine for that. It's not fine when every 5 minutes is a judgment call on what is the highest and best use of my time at this moment. It's not okay whenever you got to jump on a plane at 1 o'clock this afternoon and you find out at 11 a.m. It's not okay whenever you have numerous appointments and calls and schedules and emails, but yet you have and vendors, and yet you still want to have live your best life, and you don't want work to consume you. In fact, you need your health in order to perform well at your job, and then the better you do there, the more inspired you are there, and it kind of works together. So the very first step is to keep a calendar. And it amazes me continually how many people don't keep a schedule. They don't. It's more than writing things down. When you schedule things, there's a time next to it in the calendar. You're assigning a time to it. And so when you do that, it is an appointment with yourself. It is saying this must be done, and this is when I'm going to do it. And that's why you may have seen the quotes that I put out. If it's not scheduled, it's not happening. It doesn't exist if it's not scheduled. And so you got to get it on your calendar for you to be effective. And really what I'm teaching you is how to automate your effectiveness, how to automate your success, is by getting it on the calendar and scheduling it. It is nothing more than a series of habits. And as long as they're the right habits, you will win. You will have a greater impact in whatever area of life you participate in. So number one is keep a calendar. If you don't have one, I personally use the Apple iCal because it syncs through iCloud with my phone, my iPhone, and the iPads and the MacBooks and the Mac Airs and all that. Everything syncs. And especially whenever I travel and I'm on planes, if one device dies, I pick up another one, and while that one's charging on some mobile chargers, then I will be using the iCal on my iPad or on the laptops, and that allows me to, whenever we land and get back on a wireless network, it's all syncing together. So I don't miss a beat of productivity or scheduling my time just because the device dies. So, but there are, most smartphones have a calendar service. There are a number of apps that have the functionality that's required to be successful in keeping a calendar. That's number one. Number two, it's going to just get a little bit deeper and a little bit more complex from here. Number two, I want you to create the following color codes. Because in each one of the calendars on a smartphone, you can set up categories, and then each one of those categories has a title. And so you're going to name and create these categories. You're going to create one that is for work. You're going to create one that is for your business, if they're not one and the same. Some people work a job and have a side business or building a business they hope to become their primary source of income. Then that would be a second color tab. The third one would be personal. These are things, and I'm going to explain a little bit more in a minute, but these are things like when you go to get a haircut, if you go to the spa, if you're running to check your mail, if you are running errands, that would all be classified under the personal. And then my favorite is the critical few. The critical few is a color all of its own. And it is where you have your calendar, and you are blocking out the times that are non-negotiable in your life. These are scheduling the critical few, your highest priorities in life. You're scheduling those. It blocks out the rest of it blocks it out so that nothing else gets scheduled there. And if it does, you're able to visibly see it is intruding into the critical few. That's what's great, is the visual effect that these calendars provide. And so the critical few, sleep. You got to schedule your sleep. And this was the weakest area for me, even though I'm a firm believer in getting sleep. And I believe in that as much as I believe in exercise and in being active and in eating healthy. It literally is another stool, a leg to the stool to great health. And it's very rarely talked about, and it's so critical. So schedule that. And then the other thing that you want to schedule is whatever the critical few are in your life. Okay? Maybe that's you're trying to get healthy, and so you're having to set calendar reminders for how many times a day you're going to eat because it's not, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're probably eating 5 or 6 smaller meals a day, and so you might need to schedule those. For me, I have some standing events every week that I have to schedule. I know that every Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to spend time, and I know exactly how much time, preparing for the Google Hangout. I will have, at the same time, I decide what the topic is going to be. I'm always thinking about those kind of things during the week, so I keep a running list of possible hangouts that we can talk about, and then I choose what topic during the time that I'm preparing for that Fridays. And then I obviously block out that time, I block out the hangout time, and then immediately afterwards there's an hour's worth of work after every single one of these where things are getting uploaded and podcasts are going out and all of this kind of thing, setting up next week's. So there's a bunch of behind the scenes things. That happens every week right after this. And so when you look at how you schedule time, that is a standing commitment to the critical few. And so I have that. I know what it is on Sundays. I know what it is Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, every single day of the week. What are your critical few? Schedule those. And I can look at my calendar and say, okay, this next week is a blank slate except for A, B, C, D. I'm going to be flying out on Tuesday. I'm going to be coming back here. There's the critical few while I'm traveling. So, for example, if you have at your company a standing conference call, that would be one of the critical few that you need to show up and be on that conference call or at the weekly 9 o'clock sales meeting in order to continue that employment or your position. And so that's part of the critical few for you. That is a non-negotiable. You have to be there. That is what you color code as the critical few. And then I also want you to put in community. I want you to put in things that aren't personal. These aren't errands. These are the social involvement. These are social activities. Okay? This isn't taking your kids to the movies. This is, I'm going to an event. I was at an event last night with Oliver North. That was a community event. I have an event this coming Monday evening. That's actually a community board meeting that I'm on, and so I'll be attending that. That is community. So it separates, and at a glance, I can see how much time I'm spending on different areas of my life, and does that support my vision and my goals and my purpose? So how much time do I spend working on the critical few versus work, what puts food on the table, versus my future, and working on the business and growth and creating and innovating. And that's what really fires me up and inspires me, is whenever I can innovate and create. I love that more than anything. So I have that time as well. And then the time to contribute and the time to attend social events. And then what am I doing, with, am I being there for the girls? What events do they have that I need to be? That they need to look in the crowd and see Dad sitting there? What are those times for this week? So you're able to look at these different categories, and you're actually able to schedule this, and you'll end up getting to where it's scheduled weeks and potentially even months out. There are CEOs that have multiple, at least 2 executive assistants. And the reason for this is because of how minute they schedule their calendars down to, literally down to 5 and 10 minute increments. So many people want to meet with you, so many people want to call you, so it literally comes down to 5, 10 minute increments. And it's not a matter of an hour meeting and it ends 7 minutes early or 15 minutes early, and then they just kind of go to the water cooler for the next 15 minutes and hang out before the next meeting. That's not it at all. It is total mastery over your schedule. And you don't have to be this disciplined with your calendar or your schedule, only if you want to win really big. And once again, it's not how to manage your schedule, like a minimum wage worker. This is how to manage your schedule like a CEO. So that's what I'm trying to teach you. The third thing to manage your schedule: number 1, keep a calendar. Number 2, create those color codes. Number 3, follow the calendar. Your calendar becomes king. You are not above your calendar. You are beholden to it. It constrains you. And really, you are subject to it. And this kind of thinking is what actually gives you the control, because you are the one creating the calendar. But that only works if you are ultra committed to following the calendar. Like, this is why it's so easy for me to say no. Some people struggle saying no. No, I can't join this board. No, I don't have time to take on this project. No, I can't attend this event. And some people struggle with saying, no, I can't hang out, Tuesday night. No, I can't go to dinner with you. No, I can't go to lunch with you. No, I can't go to breakfast with you. I've said no multiple times this week to all of those requests. And you know why? It's because it's really simple. It's not an internal struggle, and what do I do, and how do I say no, and all, I really want to, but none of that ever comes into the decision-making process. It's a matter of, here's my calendar, you're not on it, this does not fall into one of my categories of my focus, then no, there's not reason, there's not purpose. And so, when you're a CEO and you're as busy as you say you are, those are the kind of decisions that should be no-brainer, that should be second nature. But a calendar, it's very different when you tell people no because you have other things that you are committed to because you have a calendar, versus, no, I just don't think I feel like it. That's why you have a hard time saying no, because you don't keep a calendar that you are committed to. So those are the 3 steps to managing your schedule like a CEO. But I'm going to do a little bit more, because that's not enough. I want to give you some secrets, some CEO secrets. Because if you could do that, what I just shared with you, and you would be a lot more successful than you are now, no matter how well of a calendar, good of a calendar you keep, your success would improve just by following a few of these simple measures. But I'm going to let you in on a few more secrets that I think will tremendously help you. Okay? Number 1, during any time gaps, and I mean 7-minute increments, 13-minute increments, 21-minute increments, 5, 10, 15-minute increments, obviously, hour gaps. During the gaps that naturally occur during your day, I want you to ask yourself this one question. Write it down. What is the highest and best use of my time right now? Brian Tracy is the expert on time management, and anybody who talks about it probably learned from him. And it's one of the things that he really helped instill in me, was what is the highest and best use of your time right now? Not tomorrow, not tonight, right now. You've got this calendar, and so you've got this time to be working. What's the highest and best use of my time? What's going to move the needle? What is the critical few for what I'm doing right now that's going to get me the most results in the time that I have allotted to this activity, this commitment? What is the highest and best use of my time right now? Is it a phone call? Can I pick up the phone and call somebody? Is it an email? Is it a face-to-face meeting? Is it someone that I can? Is it a product idea? Is it someone that I should visit with? Is it some innovation? Is it some creative time? Where should I look for some inspiration for innovation? And so number 1 is you are utilizing all of your extra time, the time gaps. It's not extra time. It is, but you don't view it that way. It's whenever something ends a little bit early, you've got these little pockets of time. Maximize those. The secret between successful CEOs and everyone else is their ability to capitalize on those small increments of time. It's knowing what to do in those increments of time that separate the winners from the losers. And let me tell you something. In an age and an era where the difference between first place and second place is the difference is measured in millimeters and centimeters and just fractions of a second. But yet the profitability between first and second is not minute and is not fractions of a second and is not measured in millimeters or centimeters. No. The earnings, the results are 10 times greater. Look at the Kentucky Derby. Look at the Masters, the golf tournament every year. Look at the earnings potential between the first place NFL team and the second, or the first place professional NBA team or the second, or in most areas of sports and in life. The difference between first place and second place is so close. But the results, the winnings, the results, the purse is 10 times or greater different. These are the secrets to managing your schedule like a CEO. Number 2, CEO secret number 2, have a strong morning routine. Have a strong morning routine. I know you've got a calendar. Let me tell you something. It needs to be scheduled to the minute, non-negotiable, until about 11 a.m. every single day. There are things that CEOs do religiously in their morning routine. You need to establish a morning routine that sets you up to win. And when you just do what your routine is, your habits, your daily habits that you have as the critical few, then a month down the road, 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, people don't even recognize you from what you've done by having an amazing morning routine. We can accomplish more by 11 a.m. than most people do in a day or 2 days by managing your schedule down to the minute in a morning routine until about 11 a.m. All right? And then, and you say, well, what time should I get up and what should that morning routine be? That depends on a number of variables. How long your commute is. Do you exercise at home or do you exercise at a gym? How long do you read? How long do you meditate? How long? What do you do? Do you like have things where that's your family meal of the day? Maybe it's meeting for breakfast or whatever the situation. You need to look at those critical few for you and say, okay, my morning routine, what does that look like? And then you need to schedule that out to the minute. And if you can't get it all done and say, well, I still have to be at work by 8 or 9 or whatever it is, then you need to just back into getting up earlier in order to accommodate that, which means you have to go to bed early, which means you have to train yourself. Once again, it's just a calendar. Just get it on the calendar. You'll figure out how to want to do that later. What you will want is the results that you'll get from it. But this is CEO secret number 2, is have a strong morning routine. Schedule to the minute until 11 a.m. Okay? The third CEO secret is to work in 2 to 3 hour blocks of time. Work in, really, it usually ends up being about 3 hour blocks of time, give or take. 2 hours and 45 minutes to 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's an average of 3 hour blocks of time. Schedule your work in 2 to 3 hour bursts. And let me give you an example. The way I do it is I work from 9 to 11 hard. I'll do more in those 2 hours than most people. I'll get done more in 2 hours than most people get done in a day. And then again from 1 to 4, and again from 7 to 9. Okay, so if you looked at that, you might say, oh, well, that's a 7-hour work day or something like that. Oh, it's so much more than that. Those are the times that I run hard. Those are the times that I'm ultra focused. That's my critical few work times. Okay, and these are the most productive hours of the day for most people to work. Especially for me to be working on the critical few. And the reason is because some people, especially the first 30 minutes or an hour after they get to their place of work, seems to be spent on the trivial many. They're having to go make the round. They're having to say hello. They're having to say good morning. They're working on the politics of a lot of offices today. They're getting their water. They're getting set up. They're powering up their laptop. They're getting their little happy little space for the day, and it's taking 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, trivial many. So they start in their actual work around 9 o'clock, or if they got there at 8. And so there's a couple hours to be able to work hard. And then everyone's starting to talk about, well, where are we going to go for lunch? And then the emails start flying, and, well, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? We're going to go here. You want to get takeout? Well, we need this meeting that came up, so we need to order in. All of that kind of, here's the menu. You got to choose something, get it to the secretary. This is what happens. So 9 to 11 is when you're really able to work. Then you got the meeting, or then you go to lunch, or maybe you have a lunch appointment. You come back, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it's time to crank it out. It is time to put your head down and work hard on the critical few. And then 4 o'clock, people are you're not getting people home. Things are starting to change. You're starting to wind down, and then you're going to dinner, and you're meeting people, or you're spending time with coworkers. You're doing whatever's on your calendar. Probably nothing at the moment for most people. And then again, from at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, it's time to be productive again. It's the absolute best. I'm just telling you how to manage it like a CEO. I'm not telling you how to manage it like a soccer mom. I'm not trying to tell you how to manage it however you that's going to just kind of be a kumbaya, calm, never very not do anything in life. I'm trying to tell you how to manage your schedule like a CEO. If you're not one, and if you don't want to have if you're not as busy as one, you don't need to be this disciplined with it. But it's a CEO secret. We are having to work from early in the morning to late at night. That's a fact of running a company in this day and age, and it's probably been a fact for a long time before our day and age. So there's nothing better than working for work's sake, working because it's productive, working because you're creating and contributing to society and making a better life for you, for your family, for society, for your community. Nothing better than contributing back to mankind in this way. So I do 9 to 11, like 1 to 4, 7 to 9. And I have things that I'm doing in between. In between's when I do my trivial mini. Oh, I still have to run at the bank. I still go to the gym. I still am going to eat every now and then. But what I'm going to end up doing is being productive with some trivial mini in between the critical few. All right? So what will happen is I will get up. I will do my morning routine. I end up at the gym. I shower and get ready. Boom, I'm hitting the ground, ready to run, work hard during my critical few time during the morning, And then I've got the time where I can do errands and meet people and talk to people and be social and do the things that I need to do in order to be successful. But I still have my critical few protected. I'm back at it in the afternoon. I am laser focused. There is nothing, even if I'm in a coffee shop, they will sometimes play tricks on me just to show people that they can't, that even if there was an earthquake, I wouldn't even know it because I'm so focused on what I'm doing and oblivious to things around me. So I focus on the critical few from that 1 to 4. And then I'm focused on, okay, now I'm shifting into another gear. I'm reevaluating, reassessing. I'm asking myself the questions. I have this on my calendar. This is the type of work I'm planning on doing tonight. After everything I've done today, is this still the highest and best use of my time? See, that's where most people get it wrong. Yes, you are a slave and you are beholden to your calendar that you created. Absolutely. But after you go through a day, by the afternoon, there are things that could have changed what your highest and best use of time right now is. If I have a major crisis, then I have to address that. There's a new highest and best use of my time. If I have the number one customer demands a meeting right now and we need to see each other right now and I got to jump on a plane right now, then my highest and best use of time changed. And then so what I want you to do is the time in between these scheduled critical few times of work, I want you to use for the Trivial Mini. And then the fourth CEO secret is to loosely schedule your weekends. Oh. I heard people today say, oh, I'm so happy it's the weekend. And it's really so they can do nothing. They might clean out the garage, maybe. You know that they'll start at about 3 hours after they do. And if they actually start when they think they're going to tomorrow morning, they'll post it on Facebook. There'll be pictures. It'll be a huge triumph victory in their lives because they started, cleaning the garage or washing the car or mowing the lawn at the time that they thought that they wanted to, knowing that probably isn't when it would happen. Successful CEOs loosely schedule their times even on the weekend. You don't stop scheduling yourself. Life doesn't pause on the weekends. That's the way that we have been inbred since the industrial age with our Monday through Friday work weeks. But that's not the way life works. Life is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. How are you going to live yours? CEOs still have to loosely manage their schedules on the weekends. There's no such thing as a day off from that perspective. We have to be available. Okay, so usually, and I'll tell you the way I do it, Saturday mornings and Sunday morning, I like doing like a 9 to 12 productive time. I like being productive first thing Saturday mornings, and then I have a 1 to 5. I'll do some kind of a project or an activity or something that I have scheduled. Okay, so something productive in the morning. The afternoon is some kind of activity. Maybe this would be where you go hiking, ride horses, fly planes, go on the boat. The 1 to 5 is your activity time or your project time. So I did a construction project with my youngest daughter a couple Saturdays ago. That's when I did it, in that afternoon time. So that is your project time, your activity time, and then from 7 o'clock on, because you're going to be showering, you're going to be doing different things in between, and then from 7 o'clock on is your dinner and relax time. And that's however you relax. Maybe it's with family, maybe it's with friends, maybe it's going to a movie, maybe it's going to a dinner. However you relax, 7 p.m. on is about relaxation and being with those you love. It is about, because it's restoring your soul, it's restoring your spirit. And that's what you need to do as a CEO on Saturday nights. So when you lay your head on the pillow at the end of a Saturday, you've had a great day. You were productive. You responded to some things. You took care of things first thing in the morning. You spent time with friends or family with your weekend, with your afternoon activity, or doing your project, and then so you were productive on your job and at work and on your business. You were productive in running your household or in doing things that you wanted to do, your hobbies and recreation. And then Saturday evening, you restored your mind and mental facilities. Saturday evening, Sunday morning. Sundays, very similar schedule. During your productive time, you need to be productive first thing, and then you may find other ways of being productive. You may go to church, you may go to your place of worship and spend a couple hours refreshing your soul as well. There may be a family dinner or dinner with friends or something, a brunch after that. All of those type things are totally acceptable in what you should be thinking about doing on Sunday mornings. And then Sunday afternoon is the same thing. Sunday afternoons can be your activity time, your recreation time, your hobby time, your tinker time. What are you going to do on Sunday afternoon? Ride the horse, fly the plane, get on the boat, take the hike, go on a drive. These are your passive recreational activities to really restore yourself in a productive manner. And then once again, Sunday evenings, one of my favorite times of the week. A lot of people hate Sunday evenings because they dread going to work the next day. I have learned, and that was me for years, I have learned to love Sunday evenings because I personally like to just sit in a coffee shop because no one else is there, and it's quiet, and there might be a fire going, and I'm able to just sit in a nice, comfortable leather chair and just sit there and look at my schedule, look at what's going to be coming up. What do I want to create this week? What do I want to have happen? What are my goals? When I get to the end of this week, what will have really moved the needle? I only have 52 of these in a year, 52 chances to make some magic happen. What am I doing this week to make that? That's one of my 52. I've got to take advantage and capitalize on that. And so that's the last CEO secret, is even loosely scheduling your weekends. So there are 3 ways that I can help you. There is a number of things I did not cover here today. For example, during that 9 to 11, 1 to 4, and 7 to 9, Monday through Friday, your times that you're working and your productive times on the weekend, what happens whenever you get multiple conflicting incoming priorities during that time? How do you manage that without freaking out? How do you prioritize those things when you just had literally 75 emails in the last 10 minutes, and you have a congressman on one line, and you've got your largest customer on another, and you've got this thing blowing up over here, and you've got a line of 10 employees standing at your door waiting to talk to you. You have these other people who flew in to meet with you, spend thousands of dollars, and you want to honor and respect that. How do you manage all of those type priorities? Because that's what's really happening during the day. And so if that's you and you want some help on that, then let's schedule a coaching call. We'll have a visual coaching call just like this. It's $195 an hour. It's the best way I can help you. Cheaper than an attorney. I mean, it's insanely cheap, ridiculously, for what you're going to get. The second thing is I can help you with our deluxe package. Go to 90dayrace.com, and you will notice on the Get Started page that we have a deluxe package. It includes a 150-page program guide that we put together that walks you through and holds your hand every day of a 90-day race. It comes with 15 exclusive videos, private videos. You can't get them anywhere unless you buy the program. You get the program in an offline and online versions, depending on whichever one, so you can use both. And the best part about it is that lets you use it for years to come, so you can use it over and over and over and over again. That's only $995 one time. It's amazing. And so, which means technically multiple people in your household could use it. The third way I can assist you is with an all-in package. And our all-in package is if you want me to run a 90-day race with you. It's where we are texting and calling and emailing. Maybe we have a face-to-face, but bottom line is I am running the race with you. If you are a celebrity, if you are a politician, if you are a business owner, if you are a CEO, if you are someone, if you are a professional athlete, if you are someone that must win, and there's millions of dollars riding on the line, you need to do a 90-day all-in race with me, and that's a one-time fee of $99.95, and so it's just an incredible, cheap way of making sure that you hit your objective. I'm Dr. Rollan Roberts. I'm looking forward to next week's hangout on becoming an entrepreneur. I'm Dr. Rollan Roberts. Have a great week, and remember, success likes speed.